patriotism is not a virtue, but rather a mental disorder. So let's look at the definition, shall we? One who loves his or her country and supports its authority and interests. From Merriam-Webster. Now, how is that a mental disorder, you might ask? Well, it might be the root of so many other mental disorders, if not a mental disorder itself, but it is at best a very common disorder, and one that has its origins and evolution. But it seems that as part of the human psyche today, patriotism, loyalism, pack mentality is more of a vestigial organ of our past, not one essential for today's society, certainly not for the modern world. But what is it to love your country? That arbitrary land contained within those lines on a map drawn by government. You should love what is inside those lines because someone in government told you that people on your side of the line are good people, and people on the other side of the line are, at least, not quite as good people. And the interests of the people in this arbitrary region, clearly it would be some sort of mental disorder to think that you, as an individual human being, are somehow superior to the others on this planet simply because you fall within the lines drawn by the central authority. And if you support the authority of your country, what could that be other than the will of the collective? Well, I guess in practice, it would be rather the will of the ruling class and supporting the interests of those who would exploit you in the name of leadership, or perhaps who simply want to be the alpha dog because of their own psychological disorders. The gladiators who rounded up the Christians to be killed by lions in the Colosseum, oh, they were patriots. Genghis Khan didn't murder 15 million people on his own. No, his loyal patriots were the ones that carried out that slaughter. The Native Americans, pushed from their lands and killed by the thousands in North America, yes, that too was done by patriots. The Red Army massacres, yes, loyal Russian patriots were the ones that carried them out. Those who poisoned their fellow human beings to the point that they were choking on their own flesh due to mustard gas in the trenches of World War I. Yes, patriots, all of them. The Holocaust was carried out by the brave men of the German army who pushed the button and put the gas into the showers. And yes, they were patriots. The atom bombs that fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were dropped by patriots. The killing fields of Pol Pot in Cambodia were conducted by patriots. 2 million Vietnamese, including those who lost their lives at the My Lai massacre, were killed by patriots. And when Saddam Hussein dropped nerve gas on his own people, no, he didn't actually do it himself. It was done by great Iraqi patriots. The enforcers of the one-child policy, oh yes, very much the manipulators of society, all patriots nonetheless. 9/11, if you believe the government conspiracy theory about who carried it out, was certainly done by the most loyal and devout patriots. Abu Ghraib and the torture that occurred there was the product of patriots. The kill team murderers in Afghanistan, who killed for sport and collected trophies from human beings, I'm sure they would be offended if you called them anything less than patriots. And the drone strikes carried out every day, killing innocent people, are done by patriots. And humans, like dogs, evolved as packs. That's right. We are essentially pack animals. And loyalty to your pack, blind obedience, following the alpha, yes. At one point in human history, perhaps before we really became humans, was a good thing, at least for survival and reproduction. And maybe between packs of humans, there was no loyalty to any greater cause. There was no loyalty to humanity. No, just to the pack. And when we say, is this man a patriot? Can we trust this woman? Is she someone that we should include as part of our pack? Are they patriots? What we're really asking is not, are they people capable of loyalty, but are they loyal to our pack? Will they grovel at the feet of the same alpha males, or females for that matter, wearing suits and the costumes and trappings of government? Will they bow down to the authority of our country? Will they be loyal to its interests? Will they show love and devotion? It's as if this loyalty to a pack, I'm a patriot. Don't worry about me. I'm a patriot. Oh, okay. He's cool. Do we admire patriotism? Certainly not like that of the Hutus and Tutsis, whose personal identities led them to wholesale slaughter. No. What we really admire when someone says, I'm a patriot, we want to first assume that they're our kind of patriot. They're members of our pack, at least, because if they're not, then we wouldn't want them to be patriots. No. What we're really asking is, will they be blindly subservient to me? Will they show love and devotion to me because I'm a member of the same pack? Are we still so insecure? Is this really the best that we are capable of? Surely we have evolved past this. Surely what we see today as statism, as loyalty to government in patriotism, surely that is an evolved form of pack loyalty, is it not? Well, not by much. Street gangs are really no better than nations. The Crips, the Bloods, similarly territorial. They have their borders, their fiercely defended memberships. They have their uniforms, their colors, their gang signs. And clearly, even in the drug war that gives gangs the incentive to form cohesive units that they can prosper from as a result. Clearly, they would be better off if they cooperated, right? They would be better off if they at least maybe divided up their territories and agreed on the borders and said, well, you have this share of the drug market and I'll take this share. But no, that's not what happens. They kill, they fight, they murder because of pack instinct. It's still there. And we see it in sports. From the local hometown team that you cheer for because I'm from the same tribe, to the Olympics, where we have to cheer for those who are part of our nation because we're patriots, because we're loyal, because we have our territory, we have our borders, we have our uniform, we have our colors, we even have our gang signs as we salute the authorities that we think we should grovel for. We see it in professional sports all over the world, this arbitrary loyalty. You know what I say when I see someone wearing a jersey with someone else's name on the back? That's a little bitch. Yeah, that's not an alpha. That's a sniveling little bitch who thinks that they should be loyal to someone because not just that they're good at something, but that they just so happen to belong to an association, a corporation, an athletic team that bears the name of some arbitrary government-determined geographical area that they just so happen to live in or have some blind allegiance to. Yeah. Without the pack instinct, sports would be little more than healthy exercise and entertainment as they should be. But no, we see it especially in football. And I don't mean what the world considers football, but American football, that great substitute for war, whereby if our team, as if we own it, when it's really owned by some rich asshole who doesn't give a fuck about you except as a customer whose instincts can be exploited. Our team, if they lose, well, we're gonna trash our own city. Yeah, that makes sense. And if we win, well, we can go home knowing that we're better than people in that other town or city or other arbitrary geographical area. Really? You think that this is something to be celebrated? That we should celebrate professional sports, professional athleticism? Because we are paying people to provide the substitute for this pack mentality that we enjoyed in our evolutionary phases of primitive times? No. We should be evolving past it. And patriotism, again, the definition of a patriot is one who loves his or her country and supports its authority and interests. Taken to another level is nationalism. And we like to make a distinction here as if patriotism is good, nationalism is bad. That's when it goes too far. But the principle is the same. And nationalism, as defined again by Merriam-Webster, loyalty and devotion to a nation, especially a sense of national consciousness, exalting one nation above all others and placing primary emphasis on promotion of its culture and interests, as opposed to those of other nations or supranational groups. Devotion to a nation, not to oneself, not to one's values, not to morality, not to principle, but to the collective. To those who happen to be forced together as collective victims of one particular protection racket of your local government. So what is a soldier? A patriot, perhaps a nationalist, who agrees to kill others because they're told by some authority that those people should die? Is this taking patriotism a little too far? Perhaps if you support the authority and interests of a country as opposed to principles, you might be suffering from a mental disorder. If you have a sense of national consciousness at the expense of your conscience, you might be experiencing psychological difficulty. If you think that because you were born into a certain area, people in your area are superior to all others on the planet, you might be dealing with just a little cognitive dissonance. So let me help you with this for a second, dear patriot. We see the dehumanization that happens to those in the military as a deliberate process of part of what we call today war, the systematic destruction of human bodies by machinery made possible only by your patriotism. They are not victims. They are not charred bodies. They are not innocent children who died because of sanctions. No, they're just dogs from the other pack. You don't have to worry about them or concern yourself with them unless you choose to see them as human beings. And in doing so, elevate yourself, because you could choose to be a patriot and be defined by your collective. Imagine that. Patriotism. Despite the propaganda having you believe that the American tradition might be otherwise, patriotism is a form of collectivism. And by embracing the implied nationalism that comes with being a patriot, not only are you serving to dehumanize all those who don't happen to have the good fortune that you do to be born into a particular country, but you also dehumanize yourself. You are no longer an individual. You are no longer the free, beautiful, independent human being capable of sovereignty over your own life and exercising your rights. No, you are just a member of the pack. So you have a choice. If you want, you could remain a sniveling little bitch, hiding your insecurity behind blind loyalty. But as always, you have a choice. Dear patriot, you can choose to remain a dog or become a human.